What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pokemon Tabletop RPG. This is chapter 3 that we will be doing tonight. Where we last left off, we had a couple of our players about to go on a ghost hunt, so to speak. They're in the castles of St. Augustine. And they have a ghost problem, and they've been tasked to get rid of the ghosts that are haunting the castle because it's affecting the tourism in the area. However, there is a rival team already there known as Team Cross. I believe we have H there. He's played by Mega HK Rule, who's in the chat. Salty Sanctuary, what's up? How are you doing, my friend? Welcome to the stream. We also have Freeze. Freeze made his way to St. Augustine. Let me look at that real quick, Salty. Thank you. I appreciate that. Looking at it right now. So I'll read up on that while we wait. I'll probably wait like a couple more minutes to for more people to show up. Al, played by Brotherhood, is there. Now Pasco, played by Butters, he's still in Ocala. He left while you guys were still in the city. Salty, will you be playing today? I can get you in on the action. Freeze is here too. Awesome. Okay, so while everyone's getting set up, I gotta record Salty's information real quick. I have no idea where my pen just went. Milo, did you take my pen? Okay, I found it. Yeah, Butters. Pasco is in the city of Ocala right now. To do a recap, were you there when the Salamance attacked the city, Butter? Were you there for that? Alright, Salty is a Pokemon breeder. So Salty, you have 12 stats, 12 stat points that you could put into your trainer. The stats are Strength, Dexterity, Intelligence, Wisdom, Constitution, and Charisma. Strength helps you out with like physical feats, where it comes to like if you have to lift something or move something. Dexterity, you're putting all 12 points into charisma, so you're gonna have 0 in everything else. This man's famous. Trainer name is Saltina. In the backwaters of Kanto, Saltina was a grunt and offshoot company of Team Rocket, hidden from the public eye. Saltina breed many stolen Pokemon and provided them to Team Rocket grunts across Kanto. One day, however, a small, irritated Abra used its psychic powers to make a mess of the facility. Before the rest of the grunts were able to subdue it, the Abra quickly sent Saltina a telepathic thought, enraging her. Soon after, Saltina presses the self-destruct button without a hint of remorse or hesitation. Panic stirred, and Saltina used the confusion to grab the Abra and flee from the location. Getting a safe distance away, Saltina looks at the burning facility while cracking a smile. She inhales a big gulp of air and yells out, "You can't fire me if there is no facility to fire me from!" Laughing to herself, Saltina takes out her last Pokeball and captures the Abra, who did not resist her capture. The two continue in the distance, ready to start their journey. That was the backstory for Salty's character, who will be known as Saltina, and Abra is her starter. Do you want to give the Abra a nickname? Hey, Barnabas. That's funny. I always like that one. We're going to roll for your Abra's nature. If we get a 20, we have to roll again. And if it's a Chad the Abra. If we get a 20, then we roll again. If we get 20 for the second result, then the Abra will be a shiny. 7. So, no shiny Abra. Let's find out his nature. 7 is impish. Defense up, special attack down. Not the best nature for Abra, but I'm sure it could let it work. Jabra. One of your community members might join us. The more the merrier. There will be like mints and stuff to change your Pokemon's nature, but those won't be available until like mid-game. And sadly, your Abra, because all the moves are governed by what they learn in the Scarlet, Violet, or whatever the latest game the Pokemon came from, that's the move set for the list. And unfortunately, your Abra only knows Teleport right now. Which in battle, Teleport makes you able to flee. You don't have to roll to escape. Outside of battle, you can use Teleport to pretty much, it's self-explanatory. You can move anywhere that you have seen or have been to, but your Abra can only teleport one other person at a time. We're going to roll for what the weather's going to be like today, and then we're going to get started soon. We got a 4. I believe that is thunderstorms. So it is going to be stormy weather. Perfect weather setting for you guys to go into the haunted castle, right? It was a dark and stormy night. So at random times, if you're outside during a thunderstorm, there'll be lightning strikes. And if you fail the dexterity roll, you'll take electric damage, or your Pokemon will take electric damage. Ground types, electric types will not be affected by this. Yes, HK rule. The phones do have texting abilities. Brotherhood is too, but I don't think Brotherhood's here right now. So you guys are just. But H and Freeze are together in St. Augustine. And also, just unfortunately, from what Mega HK just pointed out, he has Froakie and Pidgey. Both are weak to electricity. The Pokemon will take double the damage from the lightning bolts. So I'm going to start off with Saltina's introduction. We'll pull up Abra here. Barnabas. So that's a good thing because Barnabas is still at the farm, so Barnabas can team up with Saltina. So we're going. This is going to be. We're going to take turns since you guys are separated now. We're going to take turns via the party. We're going to do like major actions for Barnabas and Saltina. And then after they complete a series of actions, we're going to move on to Pasco in Ocala. And then after Pasco does a couple of actions, then we'll move on to Freeze and H, who are in St. Augustine. You guys can still communicate via texts and stuff. As H did. H tests Pasco to see how he's doing with him being at the mall during the storm. Now there's no rain, it's only lightning. The Professor Redwood greets Saltina. Saltina had received an invitation to the Pokemon Peace Corps, and Professor Redwood explains to Saltina that the Pokemon Peace Corps, he's wanting them to be the governing force when it comes to Pokemon, as far as like whether it's for damage control or to maintain the environment. If wild Pokemon are attacking, you'll be the first line of protection to defend civilization. At the same time, Pokemon still have rights, so it will be up to you if you see people abusing those rights. For example, Pokemon poachers, hunters, people taking advantage of them, using them on the black market, so on and so forth. Professor Redwood hands Saltina a backpack. The backpack consists of $20 and a phone. It's not 100% smartphone. You can make calls. You can text the professor and any other player in the game. There's a built-in map where you can't get lost. You also have 6 Pokeballs and 3 potions added to your inventory. Saltina. Salty, you're there in person with the professor. You've Your invitation takes you to Kirby Farms, and the professor lets you inside the house. Inside the house, you see Barnabas. He just woke up. He's having breakfast. The professor will always provide food and nourishment for you and your party. There's not really like a group chat or anything like that. When you're messaging somebody, it's like single texting. Yes, a new trainer named Saltina just joined the Pokemon Peace Corps. Barnabas is replying the text message. Random encounter 7. How late is too late to join? Anybody can join at any time. If you want to join this adventure, now would be the perfect time to do it. Salty, is Random Encounters one of your friends? Was he the person you were talking about? No problem, Random Encounters. All the information that you need to know is available. I have a bunch of community posts dropped explaining the basics of the game, and the Discord is also a better source of information in the Pokemon Tabletop Adventure tab under the Pokemon. You'll need a name, you'll need to figure out a class, and then you'll need a starter. And the rules for the starter is the Pokemon has to have an evolution. It could not be a legendary or a ultra beast, something of that nature. Okay, Salty, no problem. The storm caused the power in the mall to go out. You pickpocket someone in chaos. Hope you can call a taxi with the money. Hold on. You gotta wait for that action, Pasco, because right now the focus is on Saltina and Barnabas. Hey, Linda Roland, we are playing Pokemon Tabletop Adventure. It's a dice rolling tabletop RPG that is much like Dungeons and Dragons, just reskinned with Pokemon. So Saltina is looking to rob the professor. Did Barnabas reply to that? We'd like to invite Saltina to your party. Professor Redwood says that there are things that can still be done around the farm. The thunderstorm had the livestock needs to be herded inside the their pens. They should not be outside during this thunder weather. Most of them are okay, but there are a few of late stragglers out there. And then the food silos need to be checked as well. You did, Lunda. You did. Okay, Salty. What are you looking to try to rob? There's various gadgets, just a whole mishmash of items, books. Um, no problem, Mark. Yes, I have, Lunda. I have. I've never actually watched it though. You're trying to steal some more Pokeballs? All right. Let's do a dexterity check. Your dexterity is 0. You're going to need a 17 or higher to pull off this heist. Let's roll that d20. 15. You were unable to find any Pokeballs during the process, but you did manage to find a potion, and the professor did not catch you in the act of this action. So one more potion gets added to your inventory. You now have 4 potions on top of the 6 Pokeballs that you have. Barnabas texts H, I'm herding the livestock out of the storm. Okay, this is going to be Barnabas's action. Let's see what's going on out in the storm. A 3. Oh, I don't need this co-pilot thing. As you go outside, you do see that there is a Tauros running around scared. It's kicking up at the air, moving his horns to and fro. And then there is also a fallen. Something is laying down further out in the field. Let's see. All right, I'll look up your character. And while you guys decide that, I'll jot that down real quick. Random encounters. Wants to be, their trainer's name is Colin. They are a berry master. Starter is Chikorita. What do you want? How do you want to spread your? Oh, I see. Never mind. You have them spread evenly. Do you want a nickname for your Chikorita? All right, no nickname. Let's pull up Chikorita and see if it'll be a shiny. Forgot how to spell Chikorita. It's with a K, right? Ooh. Come back to me, dice. If it's a 20, we roll again. If it's a 20 the second time, then it will be a shiny Chikorita. You got a 9. It is not a shiny, but its nature is something. Relaxed. Defense up, speed down. Right now, the Chikorita knows Tackle, which is a D4 roll plus whatever its physical attack stat is, minus the opposing Pokemon's defense, and that'll be the damage that the Chikorita would do in combat. Your Chikorita also has Growl, which lowers the attack stat of the opposing Pokemon by 1 level. So this will be the last thing we do for the team of Barnabas and Salty Sanctuary, as well as Colin. Colin is just coming in. The professor explains to Colin, welcome to the Pokemon Peace Corps. He hands Colin a backpack. The backpack has $20 in it, 6 Pokeballs, and 3 potions, as well as a phone that you're able to communicate with the professor himself and any other player in the game. Barnabas, what is your choice? What are you doing? Do you go towards the Tauros, or do you check on what the fallen shape is further out in the field? As you approach, you see that it is a milk tank, but the milk tank, unfortunately, is dead. There are two uh, holes in the side of the milk tank's body. It looks like something has drained it of its blood. You roll to touch its udders. Weird flex, but let's go. 16. Barely any milk comes out of the milk tank's udders since it's been drained of its bodily fluids. That is most likely the weirdest action I'm ever gonna do. Oh, Barnabas, you're funny. Random encounters. So I'm gonna refer to you as Colin. Colin asks, "Can you get a bag of berries?" Roll. Your charisma is 2. You need a 15 or higher for the berries. 20. The professor pulls out a bag of berries. They are 5 citrus berries. And the professor said, "Well, I guess I have extras. Maybe you can do something with these that I can't." So here you go. The professor gives you 5 citrus berries have been added to your inventory, Colin. Citrus berries can be held by a Pokemon, and the Pokemon will recover 25% of their max HP when their health goes below 50%. You can also eat the berries yourself. They only provide half the effect that they would on a human than they would on a Pokemon. All right, so the farmhouse has been completed for now. Everybody's series of actions. To answer Colin's questions on how big the holes are about the size of a regular kitchen knife. You could stick your fingers through the holes, as invasive as that sounds. But we're going to move on to Pasco now. H, your inventory is 1 shiny stone, 3 Pokeballs, 3 potions, 1 Premier Ball, and a bottled water. Pasco tries to pickpocket In the confusion of the storm. All right, well, here are your targets for you see a girl on her cell phone. That's one target. She has a purse. It's hanging over her left shoulder. Then you see a like a medium heavyweight middle-aged man. He's sleeping on the bench. His wife, I guess, or whoever, his girlfriend's shopping, and he was just waiting on the bench. He fell asleep. And then you see an elderly couple eating lunch, and the lady's purse is sitting at the foot of her chair behind her. You're okay, Freeze. Nothing's happened to you yet. Your party hasn't had their turn yet. Okay, the girl is distracted talking on her phone, but you need your dexterity. You need a 12 or higher, and your dexterity, I believe, is a 2. Yeah, your dexterity is a 2, so you need a 12 or higher. You manage to grab her purse. Inside her purse, she has $50. Also, this turned into GTA Pokemon real quick. So you were broke because you had spent the money on a scarf, but you now have $50 in your inventory. The purse is useless. It's up to you if you want to keep it or not. Using the taxi would cost you $10. Do accept the charges, Pasco. All right, so I'll go ahead and put the purse in your inventory, and you now have $40, and you will be joining up with those in St. Augustine. To answer your question, Colin, the Pokemon Tropius has been spotted in jungles and tropical regions. The professor has seen Tropius down in the Florida Keys, but he's heard they're common in like Jamaica, South America. They are rare in this region. Now we are at the visitor center. You guys are standing outside in St. Augustine, and the thunder is rolling in. So in St. Augustine, there's a hotel, there's the visitor center, and then there's a castle. A bolt of lightning arcs across the sky, creating some echoing thunder. Where will you guys go? H. H points toward the castle. As you approach the castle, you see there are two employees who are in charge of the tours there. They tell you that Team Cross went inside the night before, but no one has come out since. The sun is rising, but it's hidden behind the thunderclouds. It's light enough to see, but there's still a dark haze over the land. They wish you good luck, and hopefully you guys can do the job. The castle is surrounded by a moat. The water is murky and the water is not moving. There's a drawbridge, it's already down, the gate is up, and the castle inside is a bit dark. Zoink, Scooby! That's what I'm that's what I'm picturing. H goes into the castle and signals those to follow him. He texts H if you wait a bit for you to investigate this Tauros, you can help. As you approach the castle, you hear a familiar ghostly sound, and a wild ghastly has appeared. It's rolled to see its nature. 12. This ghastly has a rash nature, special attack up, special defense down. The ghastly is minding its own business. There's pots and pans, little replicas of daggers dancing in the air as the ghastly is levitating it with its ghostly powers, bouncing around happily. I mean, the ball is in your backpack, Butter, or Pasco. Unless you want to purposely forget it, it's up to you. And if you did forget it, where did you forget it? Mega's HP is 12. No, 15, excuse me. Mega's HP is 15. Mega is the name of your Froakie. You want your character to be forgetful and unorganized. Alright, well then, your Venipede is back at the farm. Thy will be done. It checks Barnabas to ask to grab Pasco's Venipede to bring it. The Ghastly is aware of your presence now and begins to feel threatened. All the items it was playing with drop to the ground, and it gets ready to attack. H throws a Pokeball in hope of catching it off guard. Alright, H throws a Pokeball. Ghastly's at full health. He is aware of your presence, so there's no surprise bonus. Ghastly's catch rate is 50. But since it's at full HP, it's been reduced to 35. So the way catching works, for those that it's their first time here, you have to roll 5 d20s. If the result is under the catch rate, then you successfully catch the Pokemon. The less HP the Pokemon has, the higher the catch rate will be. So the higher the catch rate, the better, because you want to roll low when you're catching Pokemon. So you need 35 to catch. 7, 26, 32. All right. The Ghastly breaks out. Oh no, why did I close the dice roller? Why? All right. H, you only have 2 Pokeballs left in your inventory. Joy uses Water Gun on the Ghastly. D6 roll plus the special attack. So 6. So that's maximum damage. The Ghastly is hurt. And the gas going off its ball is flickering in and out. The Ghastly attempts to lick Joy Boy, who is your Poliwag. I gotta see if it hits. 13. It hit. It did minimal damage. It does not trigger paralysis. Joy Boy has 12 HP left. Mega uses Growl. The Ghastly's attack level went down by 1. Pasco throws a Pokeball. You need a 55 to catch it. Or under 55 or under. 20, 30, 42, 53. If you get anything higher than a 2 on this next roll, then the catch will fail. Catch failed. Pasco, you only have 4 Pokeballs left. Ghastly uses Hypnosis on Pasco. If I get a 3 or higher from the D4, then Joy is asleep. Joy is now asleep for 2 turns. Oops. So pretty much somebody else has to make at least 2 actions before Joy Boy can fight again for this battle. H and Freeze, are you doing? It's your move next. Otherwise, Ghastly's gonna fight again. H tells Mega to use his Frubbles to stick to the wall. I roll a d20 for that. Success. Freeze steps in and uses Scratch. Scratch is a normal base move, and the attack goes through the Ghastly. The Ghastly is unaffected. Ghastly attempts to use Lick on Mega. It hits and Mega is paralyzed. Mega has 12 HP left. Anytime Mega goes to attack, I roll a d4. If it's a 2 or less, then Mega flinches to paralysis. Pasco throws another ball. Still 55. 18. 21. So far, so good. 5. So even if you roll a 20, the Ghastly has successfully been caught by Pasco. Pasco, you have 3 Pokeballs left, but you now have a Rash Ghastly on your team. Are you keeping the Ghastly for yourself, or are you trading it? Yes, Joy Boy is awake now. Are you giving the Ghastly a nickname? I need to see if it's a male or female. If it's a 1 or 2, it's a male. If it's a 3 or 4, it's a female. I want to roll 2. Female Ghastly. You name her Fart. Okay, so you now have a level 2 Ghastly on your team named Fart. She knows Lick and Hypnosis. All right, that concludes your guys' series of turns. Also, all 3 of your Pokemon gain a level. Joy Boy goes to level 4. Mega goes to level 5. And Freeze's Charmander goes to level 2. Froakie, or I should say Mega, learned Water Gun. Water Gun is a D6 special attack water type move. We are moving back to the farm. Well, before we go to the farm, Mega gets you get to put one. You get to level up one of Mega's stats, except for defense. Freeze, you can level up one of Charmander's stats, except for speed. And Butter, you can level up one of Poliwag's stats, except for physical attack. So how do you guys level up? What stat do you want to put the level up in? H has special attack for Froakie. His special attack is now 9. Or no, 7. I will choose again for you, no problem. We will give you, let's see, HP. He now has 18 max HP. Londo, if this is boring for you, you don't have to be here. You can go watch somebody else if it's boring. Pasco says be right back. We're gonna move on to the farm. Is Colin, Salty, and I know Barnabas is there. Colin and Salty, are you guys still there? All right. So Salty successfully didn't get any Pokeballs, but he robbed the professor of a potion. And then Colin got his berries, and Barnabas was outside and discovered the fallen milk tank. However, Tauros is still outside. Quick question: how does experience share work in this game? There is no experience share in this game. Pretty much, the way your Pokemon will get experience, not just through battles, doing like missions in the game, interacting with your Pokemon. It's not just battle that where your Pokemon get levels up and experiences. Yeah, that's her. No problem. So on the farm, do you guys check the food silo? Do you try to calm the Tauros down and bring it inside? Do you leave the farm and go to one of the areas that were posted in the Discord? Or make your way to Ocala to make your way to St. Augustine with the others? It's on you now. Pasco. Alright, you guys are seeing why the Tauros is all wilding out. Stink eye. Alright, let's pull up Tauros. So this Tauros is not a wild Pokemon. It is owned by the professor. But I am going to see what its nature is. 18. Timid nature. Speed up, attack down. As you get closer to the Tauros, its timid nature calms it down, and it looks at you with a worried look in its eye. They don't do they don't me enough to deal with angry cows. They don't pay me enough. The Tauros turns toward the direction where the milk tank's body is, peers its eyes, looks deeper through the woods beyond the farm, and then looks back toward the trainers. Colin slowly approaches it with a berry. Alright, let's do a check here. 8. The Tauros backs away slowly, but then sniffs the berry. And turns the other way. The Tauros does not accept the berry, but the Tauros is now calm. Salty sprays the dead milk tank with his potion. We'll roll that. If we get a 20, I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh my god, he got a 20 for that action. Well, the potion is used up. The milk tank does not come back to life, but underneath you hear something crying. You guys are a riot. Underneath the dead milk tank, you find this thing right here. Nimpup. It's a baby coyote Pokemon with fur like a sheep that it resembles a cloud. You can most certainly try to catch it. It is a wild Pokemon. Alright, let's look at your Pokeballs. You still got 6, so you're going to use 1. That'll drop it to 5. Yeah, Barnabas, it is your turn. You can do something as well. You need a 55 to catch this Nimpup. 3, that's already a good start. 10, 21, 17, 43. You have successfully caught the Nimpup. I gotta see what nature it is. 10. Barnabas begins the journey to St. Augustine. Do you want to go on foot or do you want to take a taxi for $10, Barnabas? See if it's a male or female Nimpup. Male Nimpup. Saltina, aka Salty, would you like to give the Nimpup a name? It is a boy. If you take a taxi, it will almost instantly get you to where the to St. Augustine. If you do not take a taxi, you'll have to use your next series of turns in the city of Ocala. It'll take you like an extra turn to get there. Using a taxi will let you skip the Ocala. You'll take the taxi? Okay. Little Fluff. Also, Pasco or Butter. I like the wyvern fly reference. This is a modest natured Nymphup, and it is a Pokemon I made up myself. It's level 2, and it currently knows Tackle and Growl. It is a normal type. Let's see. Will it have the ability hustle or fur coat? If 1 or a 2, it gets hustle. If it's a 3 or 4, it gets fur coat. It has hustle. So when it's using its physical attacks will do 50% more damage, but the accuracy of its attacks are decreased by 5. So most attacks when usually hit unless you roll a 1 with hustle activated. If you roll a 5 or less, then the attack misses. Yeah, Barnabas isn't in the taxi yet. Barnabas, if you want to grab the Pokeball, now's the time to do the. I'm gonna roll a perception check for Colin. You don't see any other Pokemon outside during the thunderstorm. All the other Pokemon are inside. There are no other wild Pokemon outside. The bug is in my second desk drawer. You find the Pokeball that belongs to Pasco, Barnabas. The taxi was $10, Barnabas, so that means you now have $10 left. But before you leave for the taxi, though, the professor sees what happened. He gives $10 to Saltina, $10 to Colin, and $10 to Barnabas, putting you back at 20. Colin, you now have $30 in your inventory, and so does Saltina, $30. Professor Redwood sees the dead milk tank and scratches his head. He said this is not the first time this has happened. It seems like something attacked it during the night. He asks if he could inspect the Nim pup up close. No problem, H. Alright, the professor expects a Nim pup. He measures the wounds on the fallen milk tank. And he looks at the Nim pup's teeth. Even though the teeth are sharp like a shark's, the teeth marks do not match the injection sites on the milk tank corpse. I've never seen this Pokemon, Professor Redwood says before, but I guess it is a Pokemon since you were able to catch it in the Pokeballs. This Pokemon is known as Nimpup. I don't know how the professor knows it, but he just does. Oh, so on that, Butter, that's when I drew the volcano and the wyvernfly and stuff. Those aren't actually Pokemon. I was writing a adventure series, and I was doing a journal, and those were journal entries of the creatures that the main character saw in my story. That's little fluff to you, Professor. My bad, Professor Redwood says. He's like, well, I hope you and little fluff have a good journey and that you guys find more Pokemon that have not yet to be discovered. And this will conclude the people on the farm for now. Barnabas takes the taxi. Now we're moving on to the castle. So we got Saltina and Colin at the farm, and Party B is in the castle in St. Augustine. When Barnabas gets the taxi, drops him off at the castle. The two people at the entrance of the castle update Barnabas on that the rest of his team's already inside. They tell him that Team Cross went in last night and they have yet to come out. I really like when you roll to use the potion on the milk tank. I'm like, if he gets a 20, I'm gonna have to like have this milk tank come back from the power of God or something like that. But then you rolled the 20 was rolled, and I'm like, oh shit. But I think this was a rewarding enough. Back at the castle, you hear some footsteps coming from upstairs. I would have to say the answer for that is in the Discord, Pasco or Butter. You need to, I assume, shower or shovel. All right, so you guys enter the castle and you wait with H. Be right back. Pasco and Freeze, do you guys wait as well? We'll go back to the farm. Shovel. Oh yeah, that's right. You guys have all that snow. All right. We'll go back to the farm while we wait for the rest of the team to return. Well, that since I'm in the Discord, let me go over all the places that everyone else can visit. You guys got snow too? See, I live in Florida and I don't know what snow is. I mean, obviously I know what snow is, but I've only seen snow once. And that was when I went on a field trip to Washington D.C. when I was in middle school. And I've even been to England in winter, and while I was there, it never snowed. It might, Butter, it might. But we did get a lot of rain yesterday, and I'm going to be hiking tomorrow, and I'm going to have to bring my boots because I'm sure some of the trails are flooded where I'm going. So this is more for Saltina and Colin if they wish to go to these places. There is a Polo Park, a small town where trainers gather to meet, battle, trade, and play with their Pokemon. Festivals and events are common, but there is a thunderstorm, so I don't think there's much going to be action right now. Cedar Lake's a large sinkhole that has filled with rainwater Over time, water levels depend on weather, and some areas may be inaccessible. As a result, entry fee is $10 a person. I said the Tropius spawned down in the Florida Keys, which is like a series of islands. You would need a boat or some method of flight to get there. Other grass types can be found in like forests. There's Daytona, a popular coastal city with a busy beach. The boardwalk offers a large variety of shops, games, hotels, and restaurants. Fort Jefferson, a historic fort on the Dry Tortuga Islands, located in the middle of the ocean, is only accessible via sea or air. This is where the Tropius is. Um, it's part of the Florida Keys. Rainbow Springs State Park that offers a large variety of trails and wild Pokemon. There's a river route and a forest route. This is where you would find the majority of your grass Pokemon. There's the ash fields. Rangers control the growth of the surrounding forests by burning portions regularly. Pokemon still inhabit this wild and potentially dangerous area. And then this is Kirby Farm. This is the home of the professor. This is where two of you are currently at and where everybody starts their journey. This is the city of Ocala. This is the central hub of the region. Anytime you're going somewhere, you're almost always going to be, if you're going on foot, you're always going to reach the city of Ocala before you get to your other destination, if it's in the opposite or corresponding direction. So those are the places that are currently available to try out. And then there's St. Augustine, where the mission is for where they're battling the ghosts. The professor also agrees that is probably your best bet. We're going to go for about 45 more minutes about. That's what we'll have time for. So if you guys want to go to Rainbow Springs, I think it says it was $10 a person. That's not the right one. This is the right. Or was it $5 per person was the entry fee. And then there are two different paths. There's the river path that you can still do on foot. You're just walking parallel to the river. And then there's the forest path where it's self-explanatory. You go deeper in the woods. Your Venipede's nickname was Goober. You called your Venipede Goober. Let's find you a grass type Pokemon so you can shut up about it. So if you do go to the Rainbow Springs Park, there is a kiosk uh, where you would pay the $5 entry fee. We're going to do a lightning strike check for lightning strikes a nearby tree. The tree does fall somewhere in the woods. but it does not reach any of you. As you approach the ticket booth, the ranger at first wonders what you're doing here in the middle of a thunderstorm, but then he sees the PPC logos on your backpacks. PPC stands for Pokemon Peace Corps. H, I don't know if I'll be able to juggle multiple characters per user. I know I I'll tell you what I will be able to do. If anybody wants to make a secondary character, I will allow a secondary character. However, you can only use one character per stream, so you would not be able to like switch out. You would not be able to switch between who you're using in the same stream. So next Sunday, if you want to start your new character, then we'll start your new character. But you would not be able to access H while he's in St. Augustine until the stream afterwards, and vice versa. Right. Yep, one character per stream at a time. And then of course be sure to message me what all the corresponding information that I need. Your trainer name, what the starter Pokemon's going to be, what your trainer class is, how you want to do your stats, and you'll go back to level 1. Like H will keep everything that he has on him, but when you start a new character, the new character will always start at level 1. Does Saltina and Colin, do you guys agree to pay the $5 entrance fee to enter the park? Okay, $5 has been deducted. Shut up and take my money. Alright, you each have $25 left in your bags. And then the next question is, which route do you take? Do you take the river route or do you take the forest route? The forest path. Alright, you will both be on the forest path. The beginning part of the forest is a straightforward trail. It's just trees as far as the eye can see. Let's do a perception check for what Pokemon will be out there. 18. A lot of the Pokemon are scared of the thunderstorm. Oops, that's wrong. But this Pikachu seems to be having the time of its life, jumping from branch to branch. Let's roll its nature. 8. Lax nature. Defense up, special defense down. Do you guys approach the Pikachu or do you continue forward? This is what you get for dragging me out to a forest in the middle of a storm. You're just going to let Pikachu go away? Alright, the Pikachu will continue on, and as you guys go deeper into the forest, we're going to do a lightning check. 13, the bolt of lightning travels across the sky and doesn't hit anything. For the party that's at the castle, who's available? Colin says, you ever just walk around a forest in a storm? Something kind of peaceful about it. Okay, while the Saltina team is in the forest, we're gonna move back to the castle. There's 2 of you there, so we can move things forward. You see footsteps, or you hear their footsteps come down the top floor of the castle. And you see 2 people dressed in white robes. One of them is holding a cross, and the other one has a Pokeball in hand. The Pope, forgive me, the browser history stuff was just a prank. So you hear footsteps from up above. There's a spiraling staircase leading to the 2nd floor of the castle. Down the castle, you see 2 figures wearing white robes. One of them is carrying a cross, and then the other one has a Pokeball in his hand. They're about to cross your path. H says and does nothing in hopes of not being spotted by them. Let's do a perception check. 12. They slowly walk by H, but then they see Pasco. The one with the Pokeball snickers to himself. Hey, why are civilians in the castle? Don't you know it's closed? The one robe figure has his hood up, so you can't see his features, but you know it's a male, and he's still holding the cross. The cross looks heavy, and it requires both hands to hold. I did not see the message yet. I'm looking at it right now, H. Okay, I got your information. The person holding the Pokeball. Tell that to Redwood. Professor holding the Pokeball, he's like, who? The person holding the cross opens his voice, opens his mouth. His voice is old. He says, let's not pay attention to these fools. We still have work to do. We have not exorcised all the ghosts in this place. The trainer scoffs and then says, the guy who sent you? I'm sorry, but we're here and we're the ones who are taking these ghosts out, not some rookies. H is covering Pasco's mouth. Okay, I'll roll this. Guy with the Pokeball shrugs and then begrudgingly follows the elder. Well, about that, I may have. The two trainers go outside the way you guys came in. What will you guys do now? Just shut it, you idiot. Now they're probably going to try to find out more about Redwood and stuff. H moves forward. Before you is a H moves forward. Before you is the circular staircase from which the two cult members descended from. And then opposite of the room is a door that looks like it was kicked in. The door was made of wood, but whoever kicked it in did so to where the door is impossible to open. Do you go up the staircase? Do you check out the kicked in door? Or do you go back out the way you came? The door looks like it was made out of like old pine wood. It splinters very easily, as you can tell by all the pieces on the floor. Going up the stairs, the second floor of the castle seems to have been an armory. You see lines of old decrepit spears, swords, and shields, battle axes, and there's even two pairs of medieval armor lined up against the back wall. That is correct. We do not have a Professor Pine in Pokemon yet. I know there are some professors that I see come up that I'm like, I don't even know where they're from because a lot of the knockoff Pokemon games I don't really play, like Masters. Um, does Pokemon Sleep have a professor? Because I think there's like two more that I'm not familiar with. Pasco tries taking the helmet. 12. Pasco grabs the helmet and successfully takes it, but then a Pokemon jumps out of the armor. It's a wild Yamask. 13. It's got a quiet nature. The closest thing to H is a line of swords. Two of them have been rusted to the point where they look like they disintegrate. There's three more that are like half rusted. Some of the blade is a bit have eroded off. And then there's one that looks like it has not aged in quite some time. All right, so you guys are battling the Yamask. Water bolt. I was just gonna say, Poliwag looks at you like something hit your head. Alright, water gun. Boom. 5. Or you have to see if it hits. Succeeds in hitting. The Yamask gets hit for moderate damage. Mega uses Growl, lowering the Yamask's attack. Yamask uses Astonish. On the Poliwag. See if it hits. Succeeds. Minimal ghost damage. Let's see if it'll cause Poliwag to flinch on his next turn. No flinching. Back to you, Poliwag. So Pasco has given Fart to H. Okay, I will make a note of that, and it is Joy Boy's turn to attack. Pasco throws a Pokeball. He has 2 left. Catch rate is 45. 5, 22, 38, 50, 51. Yamask breaks out of the Pokeball. Mega's turn for battle. Alright, the Yamask uses Astonish on Joy Boy. It's a hit. Minimal damage to Joy Boy. Joy Boy now has 10 HP out of 14. Joy Boy's turn. Pasco switches out and sends Goober the Venipede. Mega, it's your turn. Are you using Hypnosis, I assume? Fart uses Hypnosis. If you get a 3 or higher, the Yamask is asleep. Hypnosis succeeds. Yamask will be asleep for 3 turns. Since the mask is asleep, the capture rate is now up to 70. Two more turns for the mask to wake up. Butter's turn, or I should say Pasco. Pasco throws a Pokeball. He has 1 left after this. 70 is the catch rate. 17, 22, 36, 56. If he gets another 20, or if he gets a 15 or higher, it fails. 72. The ball shakes 2 times, and then right before it clicks, the Yamask breaks out. Barnabas is back. Mega, it's your turn. H throws a Pokeball. H now has 1 Pokeball left. 70 is the capture rate. 2, 10, 17, 29, and 30. Probably the lowest roll we've seen for catching. And you have successfully caught the Yamask. H. The Yamask is a female. Level 3. Do you give the Yamask a nickname? Or are you giving the Yamask to Pasco and he'll be naming it? Alright. Bart the second. So this Yamask has Astonish, and Protect. The way Protect works in this game, if you use it, you skip your next turn, but if the Pokemon attacks your Pokemon, the move won't hit under normal conditions. But you cannot use Protect twice in a row. Right after to catch Barnabas up with what happened, Barnabas, they're on the second row, and they're in like the artifacts room. There's a bunch of medieval weapons that are mostly rusted up. Some of them still look like they're in good condition. Pasco stole a helmet off of one of the There's 2 pairs of medieval knight armor, and Pasco took the helmet, and the Yamask came out of the armor, and that they just caught it. But behind you, you hear a voice, and it's the 2 priests from earlier, and one of them, the older one with the cross, says, "Hand over that vile fiend," and they're pointing to the Yamask that is in the Pokeball. By order of Team Cross, that abomination must be destroyed. The younger priest, with his Pokeball in hand, then steps forward and says, "These ghost Pokemon are an abomination to nature and life itself. They do not deserve to disrupt the natural order of things. It is part of our crusade, and we must get rid of what is unholy. And ghost Pokemon are the unholiest of them all." You're with them, Barnabas. And with that, I'm going to have to put a to be continued on that part. So, depending on what you guys do, you'll have to think it over. And we'll resume next week. We're going to go back to Saltina and Connor, if they're still there. And we'll wrap it up with them. So Connor and Saltina are back in the Rainbow Springs Forest. And they went through the entrance, and now they're in the second stage of the forest. This part of the forest has more like, it's less green, more brown. It's like this area is autumn all year long. We'll see what's around for you guys. 11. Let's see what spawns in that slot. You guys find a deerling. The deerling is huddled underneath a large tree. The tree's roots extend beyond the ground. They make like a small cage, but the roots are not close enough to where the deerling is trapped. The deerling is hiding from the thunderstorm under the tree. I got to roll for its nature. 11. Okay, K-Rool, I got you. Mild nature for the deerling. You want to offer it a berry. Let's see how that goes for you. 13. So the deerling slowly creeps out to take a nibble at the berry, but is startled by Salty's outburst with, "Let's get that fool." The deerling runs off, but not far away. You can still see the deerling further down the trail as it looks back. You're gonna have Chikorita tackle it. Tackle misses. The Deerling will respond with a tackle of its own. It's a hit. Decent damage to Chikorita. Attack minus defense. Your Chikorita has 10 out of 13 HP left. Little Fluff. Alright, Little Fluff has Tackle and Growl. And it's Little Fluff's turn. Chikorita use Growl, lowering Deerling's attack level by 1. What does Little Fluff do? Tackle or Growl? Tackle hits for big damage. The Deerling falls to the side, but gets back up slowly. Deerling uses Tackle on Little Fluff. It's a hit. Minor damage to Little Fluff. Little Fluff has 14 out of 15 HP. Colin's turn. The Deerling is breathing heavily. Yeah, I should probably say which. It's the Autumn form Deerling, by the way. Random encounters. Colin is going to throw a Pokeball. That's 5 Pokeballs left. Deerling has a catch rate of 60 right now. 4, 16, 24, 27, and 37. The Deerling is successfully caught by Colin. It is a female. Do you wish to give the female Deerling a nickname? It is a quiet nature. No nickname. Gotcha. It also knows Tackle and Growl, and it is level 3. Chikorita levels up by 1. Chikorita is now level 2. And Little Fluff levels up to level 3. Chikorita, you can increase 1 stat on it. HP, attack, defense, special defense, special attack. Because of its nature. Hold on, let me double check that. Yeah, the only stat you cannot increase is speed because of its nature. And then the same goes for you, Saltina. You get to increase 1 stat on the Nimpup, except for special attack. Colin goes defense on Chikorita. And Saltina goes with attack. Oh wait, because of the modest nature, you cannot do attack on the Nimpup. It is a modest nature. HP. Alright, HP is now up to 18. And we are going to leave it at that. I think this was a really good series of events that happened. People got some new Pokemon. Let me look at the GAT at Fart. Fart's level. Fart did not level up. Fart is level 2. We are going to go on a raid. We're going to go raid Monk Dip Live. So let me get his channel link copied. And let's go say hello. He's playing some Pokemon. Yep, that's the hashtag we use, Swamp Swarm. I want to thank you all for returning. Big thanks to Salty and Colin, aka Random Encounter 7. Thank you for bringing a friend and being interested in this project. This was a big experiment, and I think it's a good success. I know it's um, not everybody could have fun watching this, but that's the beauty of YouTube. If it's something you're not interested in, you can always watch something else. So I hope you guys have a good week. I'll be doing um, Monday Night Smash tomorrow. Tuesday is Pokemon Scarlet. Wednesday might be Minecraft. I still have to get in touch with Carlos to see if he's still up for playing it. So let's go raid Monk and have a good night, everybody. Take care.